Okay, we're going to do a duo presentation here, so see how that works. Military operations that are carried out all over the world imply frequent separations from military personnel and their families. The title of our presentation, Separated by the Sea, stems from our current study among Navy personnel and spouses who face frequent family separations as a result of deployments. But not only Navy personnel, but all military personnel and their families have to cope with the challenges of those frequent separations, which are an inherent part of the military profession. And with that have to cope with balancing work and family life. And we know that work and family life affect each other. Work experiences can spill over to family experiences and vice versa, both positive and negative experiences. So the boundaries between these two domains dissolve. And demanding traits, or according to Kozer's and Siegel's concepts, the greedy nature of both the work and the family underlie these processes of interference. Work and family life can sometimes compete for the limited time and resources of the individual, which of course is particularly likely in times of military deployments. So when participation in one domain is made more difficult by participation in the other, and the demands of work and family life are incompatible to some respect, work-family conflict occurs. The military and the family have always been connected, but their approach to one another and the degree of their involvement varies. And over the past several decades, various trends and developments have changed the character of the military, but also of society and military families, and with that have profound implications for the military-family relationship. So we just wanted first to briefly describe some of these trends and developments within the military and within society and military families, and then just briefly present some of our results of our research on military personnel and spouses. And we focus on the key issues. So after the Cold War, the organization and the character and the operational tempo of military missions have changed. So military operations are diverse and complex, and they require military personnel to be highly trained. And these intensive trainings necessitate them to be away from their families even more frequently, even when deployment has yet to begin. And new missions also brought new stressors and new injuries military personnel and families have to cope with. The operational tempo also has increased because of the participation in international operations. And in addition, we also see that the downsizing and restructuring many military armed forces face right now further increases the deployment load and the operational tempo. So it compels the same service members to be away on multiple operations, often with little rest time in between.
Yeah, it's very strange in a way, because you would think that that military institution is getting less greedy, but in practice, in reality, the issue of competition between the family and the military organization, the competition is as sharp as ever. It's very difficult to put down firm statements about this, but the military themselves are very wise in this respect, because they acknowledge that the family is an important factor to be reckoned with, and they know that the family is essential to the mission. And we found it very strange in a way, but the high-ranking officers, the top brass that we talk to, they say that the families are crucial for the mission. So they define families as essential. and that is, they are part of the operation.
Yeah.
And that's something new.
Yeah.
Well, not new, I think. But
Yeah. What's also not new, perhaps, but what we see more often is that, particularly because of the downsizing and restructuring, and there's a higher mobilization of reserve forces, and those also face unique challenges. Because after deployment, they not only reintegrate into family life, but they also have to cope with reintegration into their civilian work environments. So they have those reintegration process with their family and their co-workers in civilian environments, as a result of which they may perceive difficulty in sharing their experiences with those who are not military. Also, we see changes to professional or all volunteer forces as a major organizational concept in many countries. And this has altered the workforce, of course. So the proportion of military personnel being married and having caregiving responsibilities has increased. But all volunteer forces also imply that military personnel have consciously chosen a career in the armed forces. So military organizations face the challenges of recruiting and retaining competent personnel. So their families, like Rene said, their support or their objections may be paramount in the decisions of people to either join or stay in the military.
this is interesting because the operational relevance of families, you see that they are important to legitimize this mission. The media come in, and the media knows how to find the military families. So even by the back door, maybe by the internet, Facebook or whatever, they will track family members down, and they get the voice of military families in the media out, and that gives it a kind of strange effect. And also the social media, they bring in topics, for example, like gossip among people, and that can be quite harmful, and it can have quite some strange effects, like a boomerang, that will also reflect on the soldiers that are in the field, and can sometimes be nasty also.
Yeah. We also see that many of today's societies, so in addition to the prominent role of the media, but they have to become more individualistic, so people pursue their individual preferences and values. So military families military personnel make comparisons to what's available in civilian society and civilian employments. So the military as an employer is concerned with meeting the needs of military personnel and their families, if only to retain this competent personnel. We also see a diversity in family structures today. So alongside the traditional nuclear family, defined as a married man and women with children, we see childless couples, unmarried couples, same-sex couples, single-parent households, and many other family structures. Those are quite common nowadays. We also see that the proportion of women in the workforce has increased, implying also an increase of women in the military, and thus of deployed mothers and wives. We also see a trend towards more egalitarian family relations and more divided household and childcare tasks, more dual earner families, more dual military families. And all these families face unique challenges in meeting the demands between military and family life.
Well, the embeddedness in military communities is quite clear, because when we look back into military communities, it was like the wife of a commander in the old days was like the mother superior over the battalion, and she was very integrated into the rear guard thing that you have in missions. And nowadays families are less integrated. They don't always live in military communities, and you see that lots of it is individualized.
Okay, so with these trends and changes within the military and the family, with respect to their structure, their expectations, their norms, there is the potential for increased conflict between the military and the family. So what we see from our research findings is that work is more likely to interfere with family life than family life interferes with work. Moreover, 1/3 reported high levels of work-family conflict, whereas only 8% reported high levels of family-to-work conflict. So like we said before, work and family life are, they affect each other, but one should be more concerned about the effects of work and military deployments in particular on the family than the effects of family on work. We also see that both work and family-related factors affecting this process of interference, but more importantly, it has adverse consequences for both the work and the family domain, as it decreases well-being and relationship quality, job satisfaction, and it increases turnover in tensions. Yeah.
Final remarks.
Yeah,
wow.
We only have 2 minutes or
no,
0
0
minutes.
minutes.
Okay.
Yes, well.
Yeah. Okay, 2 minutes. 2 minutes. Rene, you wanted to add something?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
No,
I think we just presented some key issues here facing the militaries regarding the work and the family interface, which is a different approach to the conflict and cooperation issue here. But although we focused on the work and family interface, other dimensions of cooperation and conflict can be identified as well within the family or within oneself, with respect to reintegration processes, for instance, feeling detached and estranged, or disconnected and lost, or feeling stronger and supported, stronger as a person or a couple. But with respect to the work and family domain, the transitions we mentioned earlier, and the needs and mutual expectations between the military and the family are likely to increase the prevalence of conflict. But it's important to note that the work-family relationship is not only characterized by conflict, because military and family members work closely together in support arrangements, for instance. And cooperation is important, because after all, the military and the family depend on each other. Thank you.